Hey everyone, in this video we'll be learning how to make widgets like label, button and text box in Python Tkinter. So let's get started. Very first thing is to import Tkinter. So for that we'll writing from Tkinter import stack. The next thing is to make a main window as we read in the last lecture also. So let the name of the window be root. We can name it window or master, anything we want. So root is equal to tk. Now let us set the geometry of a window. So let the geometry be 600 cross 700 and this should be in double quotes. Next thing is to set the background color of our screen as black. So root.configure black and black should be a background. So bg is equal to black. We can also set the title of a window. So for that we have to write root.title and you can write here practice. Now we'll learn how to make a label. But first let us just see if this is fine or not. So we'll run this program and see. So our 600 cross 700 dimension screen is here with the title as practice and background is black. Okay, so it's fine. Now the next thing is making a label. So to make a label, you simply have to write label, then the name of the main window, which is root here, comma, the text that we want it to be written on the label. So for example, the text be example1 and at the last we'll write dot grid here. So let us run. You can see a label here with the text example1. Now there are several ways to make a label. For example, if we want to give a variable name to label, we can write label or 2 is equal to label and then in parentheses the name of the main window, the text we wanted to write. So let us write label 2 only. And in the next line, we can say label2 dot grid. So let us run and you can see label 2 is also shown here. Now if we want to modify the label, like if we want to change the font type and the font size, for that we'll write font is equal to, then in parentheses we'll write the font type and the font size we want to give. So let it be 42 size and the font type be 8. We'll just run and see. Okay, so you can see modified font type and font size of label 2. We can modify this in label 1 as well. So if we write here like this and run it, then you can see this one is also modified. Now the next thing we want to learn is how to make a text box entry. So making a text box entry. So for this, we need to write entry and then and parentheses will give root and at the last we'll write grid. So if we run this, you can see an entry box. If you want to write Infosmart, you can see like this, we can write this. Okay, if we want to give a variable name to this entry, then we can write some name like txt is equal to entry, then root, and we can give here txt dot grid. So let us run this. We can see another text box here. So this is a text box. If we want to change the width, then we can even change the width. For example, if you want to change the width, you can change this as width is equal to 10. Run this. You can see the width of this is changed. So this one is with width 10 and this is the default width of the text box. Alright, so the next thing to learn is making a button. Making a button is also as easy as we learned the text box entry and the label. For that, we need to write button and in parentheses we will write the name of our main window. Then we'll write .quit. So you can see here a button is visible. Now let us write some text in the button and let us make a button with a variable name, for example btn. So btn is equal to button, name of a window that is root, and the text to be displayed on the button should be like click me. Let us run this. Okay, I haven't written .quit and so the button was not visible. So we can see this button with click me written on it. If we want this click me to be in a different color, we can simply write here foreground is equal to, and in double quotes we can write the color, for example blue, and let us run this. So we can see this click me is in blue color. Now let us make a function wherein what we have to do is when we click this button and first we need to write something in the text box like this info, and we click this button and then label it should be changed and in the label it should be written what have we typed here. Let us first make and then understand what exactly I'm saying. We can comment the extra labels and the entry boxes. Even we can comment this button. Now if you see, we have one label, one text box and one button. Now what I exactly need is, if for example I type here info and click this button, then here instead of label 2, it should be written you wrote and whatever I wrote here, so you wrote info. To make that we need to make one function. So let us make one function here def, and we need to keep the name of a function. So let it be clicked. So we will write here clicked, then parenthesis and a colon sign here. Inside the function, we will write, for example, result. That is a name of a variable. Here we will write you wrote plus the thing I wrote in the text box. So the name of a text box is txt. So let us write it txt.cat. That is, it will read whatever is written in the text box that the user has written. Okay. Now we want to show this you wrote plus txt.get in the label. So to show it in the label, we can just see the name of our label is lbl2. So we'll write lbl2.configure, and inside it we will write text is equal to the name of a variable which is res. So this line means that in label 2, this whatever is written in res that will be written, and in res what is written you wrote, which is the string, plus the text user wrote in the text box. To make this function work, when we click the button, we need to write here command dot clicked. So let us run this and see. So Here I'm writing Infosmart and we click the click me button. So you can see it's written here you wrote Infosmart. Now let us run this one more time. Let us give a space and then we click me. Then you can see you wrote and here is the space because we gave a space in a text box. We can place this text box label and button using the column and row. For example, if we write here column is equal to 1 comma row is equal to 1, and here if I just copy this and change the row to be 2 and here I set the row as 3 and run this, then you can see it's written like this. Now if we change the column, for example if we just write here 2 and here 3, so you can see this has been shifted. This one is column 1, this is column 2 and this is column 3, and row is like this horizontally. So you can set it as per your choice. The practice question is to make a feedback form using a text box, button and a label. And you need to set all these three things properly using this row and column in the grid. So this was all for this video. Thanks for watching. Do like, share and subscribe the channel for more coding content. Happy coding!